All right, guys, long-awaited billet wheel set video. Had quite a bit of guys purchase these already, and we've been super slammed around here with all kinds of cool stuff. But finally getting to the point where I'm going to do a video. So I have a Viper V-Spec well, actually it's a big wheel custom, but it could be any car. The front axle is already gone. The wheels are off of it already. And then we have our billet wheel kit here, which I will probably, I'm doing this by myself, trying to run the videos that way. Sam's not with us anymore, so he's not holding the camera. Hopefully this gives you guys a better view, kind of up close. You don't really need to look at me, but we are going to go through kind of what the process is here. So this is going to apply pretty much for any inline car. If you're using a Mega G or something with a bigger rear axle, you will want to swap that out. On the Mega G, we definitely recommend going with the Viper rear end setup, and then you can either remove the wheels and tires, or you can build your own by getting the Mega G Plus gear and the Viper axle. And then on that particular setup, you want to run about a 20 thousandths spacer. So we're going to do this one. We are going to start out with the front. So we include a hollow front axle, and I need to put my glasses on here so that I can show you guys this stuff. But we include a hollow front axle and these pins, which the pins, they slide in there. They're a net fit. This is something that's really tricky to do because of varying tolerances. But what I like to do is I like to take my flat needle nose here, and I like to put a little bit of a bend. So I'm holding the end. I'm going to put a little bit of a bend in there. That was actually quite a bit of a bend, but we're going to, so that it's stuck like so. And then we're going to take our wheel press, and we are going to press this on one side, okay? So we're going to press this on until it stops. You don't need to crank on this, guys. You'll bend the axle. Don't do that, okay? But now we have one side installed. And now I will take my front rim, push that through. We're going to do this one short wheelbase. Let's go ahead and get that in there. So now we have one side done. I'm going to set that aside for a sec, grab my pliers, and we're going to do this again. So just a little bit of a bend. You can use brass pins if you want. It's just a body pin. I mean, these are aluminum pins that we had specifically made for this application, but you definitely can use your own pins. So don't feel like it's over if you bend one or have something like that happen. Now I'm just pressing this other side on. I like to pull this wheel over like so that I can see the gap there and I can see that close. But now it's done. It's as far as it's going to go. We have a little bit of front end play, which is great for most tracks. If you want to tighten that up, you can shave the axle down a little bit. But that is your front rim assembly, okay? Now, next thing, these tires are very small, okay? They're very small because we need a specific size on here. I could have made the rim smaller, but you start to lose that big wheel look that we want out of the car. So what we do is we just stretch. This is a 328 razor front O-ring. I put it on a pair of smooth jawed needle nose pliers like so. I like to put my finger on there, and then you spread open, and I'm pulling it on and setting it on there. I'm not rolling it on there. You do not want to do that, guys. Your tire won't spin true. It won't be flat. You just don't want to do that. So you want to open. I'm going to push down, pull up. It's on there, and then I pinch it, pull the pliers out, okay? And then I kind of work it with my fingers. You can run your fingernail through there like so, but that is how to properly install those. I've seen guys make cones I've tried that also, but when you are rolling it up a cone, the thing is doing flips, twisting up, and you don't want that. So next up, that's pretty simple to that point. That's going to be the same for any slot car that you do. Next up, these white Teflon spacers you're going to put on your rear axle, okay? These are to prevent the Loctite from getting on your chassis, because if you do that and you don't realize it, you're going to pretty much be screwed. And then you're going to be bad-mouthing me. Life's going to be over. It's going to be someone else's fault. Don't do that, okay? So these rims are made to slip fit on here. If your axle is a little bit big, or if the rim hole is a little bit small, you can use a Dremel style tool with a 16th collet. Obviously you would pop the rear end out, and then you can just sand with some light sandpaper while it's spinning in the rotary tool to polish that until your rim slides on there. But what I like to do, and what I recommend you do, is you put it on like so, and then I'm going to use a little tech tool. You can see we're way over, and I just like to kind of eyeball both sides here, and I get it to the point where it goes down. So if you're super short like we are right here, you can see how, you know, it's a little bit short. There's quite a bit of movement. You can take yourself a pair of, or you can use anything, but I'm using the Viper pinion tool. You can see this side over here is a little closer to the axle, or to the chassis, sorry. So I'm going to move that spacer, and then I will kind of reset what we got going on here. So now we're nice and set up. And we're at a point now where we're going to use our Loctite. So we have these red Loctite available on our site. I like these guys because if I squeeze the Loctite into the tip, I can literally put my axle in there and kind of work it around like so. You don't need a ton on there, guys, but when you push your axle on, you do want to see it kind of come up around that flange there, and I usually spin it a couple times. When I turn it, now I'm holding my finger on there to keep it on there. A lot of times when I'm doing these, I will do this first, and I will pop the axle out of the car so that it can sit and be drying. That time you can see I used a little bit more. Don't worry about that excess right now. It'll come off later. But now that thing is basically ready to go. It's ready to sit. I like to leave it sitting for at least a half hour before I install the tires on there. But for this one, guys, I'm going to risk it all, and I'm going to try to put these tires on here. The real risk with putting these on right now is if you push too hard, you could shrink up your dimensions there. But to install these tires, you just really pull them on there. I actually just felt this one move on me, so we're gonna have to move it back out. Let's get this tire on here real quick. Okay, so tire is seated. Check my width again. Okay, we're good. And then we're gonna install this guy. Whoops. So normally I would do this after this whole thing has set up, but for this video, we're doing it right now. Now these guys can sit. Obviously silicone tires pick up pretty much everything, but that car is done, okay? Big wheels on the V-Spec. Nothing else really to cover other than letting those dry. I mean, if you can let it dry for, I mean, at least a couple of hours, that's going to be beneficial. I wouldn't say if you're going to, you know, if you want to run this thing the same night, I really wouldn't recommend doing that. We did a lot of testing on this, and the breakaway of the red Loctite compared to just like a pressed on plastic rim, the red Loctite exceeds that. The other thing is we did not do the set screw because it's a complete pain in the butt. It's way too small. It doesn't get tight enough. It strips tools, yada, yada, yada. It's a pain in the ass, okay? So we don't do that. And the Loctite is absolutely the way to go. So there you have it. Big Wheel Custom Viper Billet Wheel Set. That same system would work on a Tyco. It would work on a Mega G. I actually have a Mega G right here that I can show you guys. It does have Viper rear end setup in it. But same front axle setup, same tire sizes. It's a tad low in the back, but for a stock setup, it'll be no problem. Down the road, we may do a larger set specifically for the Mega G car, but we did not build these wheels specifically for the Mega G because we have our own car and people enjoy the Viper V-Spec. You can remove the post and run your favorite, Auto World body, something like this, which this has the post on it, but you can see those wheels make that look super, super sick, especially with the lowrider clip. Yeah, all kinds of cool stuff you can do with them, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully the guys that have already got these wheel sets, I've had some guys already destroying axles, pins, and I apologize in advance. We've already sent replacements out for them, but hopefully you guys enjoy this one. If you have questions, the drill, throw it in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.